purpose of this slide takes me back to about 10 years ago now, in July. My mother passed away from pancreatic cancer in Wisconsin, where I'm from. I got the call to go up there to be at her bedside, and the doctor said that my mom had no living will in place, the declaration to die a natural death, and he wanted to know what we should do with my mom. Should we let her die a natural death, disconnect her from life support, what our plan was. And my father, being asked by the doctor, said, "I don't want to be the one to kill my wife." "Thanks, Dad." Then the doctor says to the 4 children, "Well, what should we do? What do you want to have done?" Well, this apple fell from the tree and rolled a long way, and I wasn't around my mom for the latter part of her life, but my 3 siblings were. So we got into a room and I said, "What do you know? What did Mom talk about?" Didn't talk about things. What did she say about end of life? Never mentioned it. So, like most folks, death was a hard thing to talk about. So we decided after about an hour, we're going to let her die a natural death. And we did. Disconnected her life support, and she passed away. The point here was, it had been a lot easier had Mom left behind some instruction, some direction. Even as I tell this story 10 years later, I feel a little bit weird. Did I make the right decision or not? I'm sure I did, but one never knows because you didn't have the instruction or the guidance to do that. We want you to have a comprehensive health care plan in place, which starts with a health care power of attorney. It's a very good start, but it may not be enough because a health care power of attorney could just effectively say, this is what I want the person to do generally when I have a situation where they're appointed my health care agent. So what a health care power of attorney is effectively is a document that says, I authorize someone, my loved one, upon my incapacity to make medical decisions for me. Incapacity meaning I can't communicate with my physician, I can't tell him or her what I want to have done, in which event then this person would be in charge of making those decisions for me. But again, it may not be enough to simply say, I appoint Robert to be my healthcare agent. It should have more guidance within that healthcare power of attorney. It should have a HIPAA authorization, for example, we just talked about. It should say, I authorize Robert to talk to my healthcare providers to get the information he needs to make decisions for me. Okay? There should be a detailed living will. My mom didn't have one, but you should have one that says, at the end of life, under certain situations, this is what I want to have done with my body, with my life. Let me die a natural death or not. And not just a blanket statement, some of the statutory language, but a more comprehensive list of what things you want to have done upon the end of your life. By that I'm talking about healthcare guidelines, personal care plans for your caregivers that, again, go farther than simply saying I appoint Robert to make end-of-life decisions or other decisions from a medical situation, but actually give me much more to go with, much more thoughts about what you want to have done. For example, things like what you prefer to eat, what you prefer to watch, how you prefer to be cared for. Maybe an extreme example, if there is a state that may allow assisted suicide, for example, the desire to move to that state at some point in time. So these things, more details we can give to our loved ones, let them know what we'd like to have done and decide it for us when they can't make those decisions for themselves.